My name is Richard Curtis. I work for Adobe here in the UK, and I look after the imaging products. That's Lightroom, Lightroom Mobile, and Photoshop. So today we've just been outside and we've done a little shoot, and what I want to do is to show you how to use Lightroom Mobile as part of Lightroom and the photography plan. So the first thing we're going to do is we have the camera, we have the 1DX Mark II, which is a great machine, and we have my phone. Now it might be that I actually want to edit my pictures on my phone when I'm out in the field, or when I haven't got a computer with me, or maybe I want to edit my pictures and rank my pictures and order my pictures when I'm on a plane or out and about. So what I can do is actually I can take the raw files straight from the camera straight into the phone into the camera roll on the iPhone or the iPad, and then take them into Lightroom Mobile. Now to do that, what I have to do is use a couple of extra pieces. I need the Lightning to USB adapter. That goes into the phone. I also need the cable that comes with the camera. And for that, I just need to plug this into the camera. You can see that it just goes in that little slot. Once it's in there, I can then put the USB cable into the phone and then turn the camera on. Okay, once the camera's on, all I have to do is go to my phone and go to the built-in camera roll. Okay, so in the camera roll, what happens then is you get the import button at the bottom of the screen. I can then click on that, and then you can see that the phone has picked up the images from the camera direct without using a computer or anything like that. And these are all the raw images. Now I can import them all. I want to look at them all and rank them in Lightroom Mobile, so I'm just going to click on Import All. And you'll see what happens is the camera is now reading from the card and importing all the raw pictures onto the phone. Just wait for a second while that's finishing. That may take a little while, depends on how many pictures you've got. You also have to be aware of how much memory you have free on the phone to do this as well. Remember, these are raw files, so they will take up a little bit of space. Okay, they're all done. Now it asked me if I would like to keep the pictures, and I would actually, because I may want to load these onto the computer back home, but we'll talk about that in a little while. So I'm going to click on Keep. Now what I can do is go straight to Lightroom on the mobile device. Now I've already installed Lightroom from the App Store, so all I have to do is just sign in with my Adobe ID. I can of course detach the camera at any point in time. Now I've imported them in, I can detach them and I'm free to work now on the phone. Okay, so what I have to do in Lightroom Mobile, or what I can do, is actually make a collection for this morning's shoot. Now you see that I have a collection there. I'm going to use the collection to synchronize from the phone to my desktop, and I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. But to get the pictures from my camera roll into the phone, it's very easy. All I have to do is click on the three dots and choose Add Photos. And you can see straight away that I have the images from this morning's shoot. And Lightroom's telling me that these are raw files. So I can just go in and select the ones I would like to load. And when I have them selected, I can click on the Add 14 Photographs. Lightroom will now import those photographs and represent them inside Lightroom Mobile. It will still use the camera roll, so it won't duplicate the data. I've got the camera roll there to refer to, so don't get rid of your pictures on the camera roll just yet. As Lightroom's bringing them in, I can then see my pictures and start to work with them. You can see the little cloud icon at the top of the screen is already starting to upload those to my Creative Cloud photography plan on the web. Okay, so once I'm in here, I can use this like I would in Lightroom on the desktop. Now it may be that I want to do some ranking first before I do an edit, so I'm going to move Lightroom Mobile into ranking mode. So I click on the edit at the top, choose Rate and Review, and now I can just choose the number of stars that I would like to allocate for each picture, depending on the quality. Now I can use a star system or the flag system. It doesn't really matter. That's quite a nice one there actually. I'm going to use that one later. And you can see I'll just go through there and select them all. So to rank the pictures, I just need to come back one level from the individual photo level and at the top of the screen where I can see all my pictures, I can click on the title of the collection and I can pick on the number of stars that I'd like to work with. So in this case, I want to work on the 4-star pictures. To get rid of that, just click on the menu again and that goes away. Now you can see that I have the picture that I want to work on. So I can now move into edit mode. So click on the top section, go to edit mode, and now you'll see at the bottom my development settings. So you can see here I've got my light, for example. In my light, it's very similar to the basic panel. I can choose the exposure. I can work on the contrast, the highlights. I can zoom in and zoom out as I would do if I was in Lightroom on the desktop. I also have curves here as well, so I can use curves for colours. I can also use a normal tone curve as well to boost the highlights and to boost the shadows and give me a simple S-curve. I can also go into colour. I have my regular colours like my white balance. I can modify my vibrance and saturation, as well as my hue, saturation and luminance values. If I go to my effects, you can see in my effects I have my clarity. I have my dehaze as well. So if this morning was hazy, I can use a dehaze just to slightly remove some of the haze from the image. I can also do vignetting here as well, and I can really get my image looking really, really nice. I also have lens correction. So if I'm using a Canon, I would need to do some lens correction just because of any distortion that you might get in the lens. So I can do that just by enabling lens corrections, and you can see that change very, very quickly. I can also go back in time as well. I can reset the picture, or I can go back to previous. Now, of course, it may be that I want to do something with the picture around gradient filters or radial filters, and of course I have them in Lightroom as well. So if I choose the selective tab, I can then pull a gradient in, and I can just add a gradient to my picture. I can also rotate that around just by grabbing the gradient, and then I can go into my lighting, and if I need to change exposure and dial that down, I can dial that down to give the mood that I want to give for this picture. So really quite powerful what I can do in Lightroom just on my mobile phone or my iPad or my iPad Pro. Lightroom Mobile will automatically synchronize that content with my photography plan and back to the desktop. I can then carry on working with my pictures on the mobile device as I like, and then I'm good to go. Okay, so here we are on the desktop. Now I have some pictures in here already, and I'm going to append to this catalogue. What I'd like to do is just to get Lightroom Mobile and Lightroom Synchronization configured. Okay, so to get started with Lightroom Mobile from my desktop, I have to make sure I'm logged in. So if you've installed Lightroom for the first time, it's likely that Lightroom will prompt you to log into the Creative Cloud. So if you do that, log in, that will set everything up on our servers ready for you to go. So to check that, you can go to Lightroom Preferences, and in there you will see the Lightroom Mobile tab, and you can log in. You can see at the bottom there are pictures waiting to be downloaded from the phone, so they're already waiting there to come down. I've currently got this on pause right now, which won't happen when you log in, so just bear that in mind. Mine's paused so I can show you how it's working. You'll see on my Location tab I've got this checked, and this is telling me where I'm going to put the Lightroom Mobile images. Now that's important if you want to stay consistent with where your pictures are going to be placed, which may be on an external drive or your local machine, wherever you want to put them. So I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to make a new folder on my desktop called Morning Shoot. Now what will happen is those pictures, when they come down, or the raw files, when they come down, will go into that physical folder. Now, to restart Lightroom Mobile, synchronizing again back to my desktop, all I have to do is click on this little banner here and then carry on my synchronization by clicking the play key. Now, once that's done, you'll see Lightroom burst into action, and it starts then to import my pictures from my phone. You can now see those pictures will be coming in to the Morning Shoot collection. Collections is how we synchronize between the desktop version and Lightroom Mobile. And there you go. You can see my pictures have now come in. Now these are all my RAW files from my phone. So not JPEGs, they're original RAW files coming from the phone. And you can see here that all the ranking has come through. So it means that I can then carry on the ranking in Lightroom Desktop, and I can change the filters to be rated and choose the ones I want to work on, which is 2. Now, you can see here the picture I have on the screen is the one I edited on my phone. So all the edits have been applied, and I can validate that by going to the development module. Now, normally when I import pictures in from the camera into Lightroom, the development settings down the right hand side in the basic panel and tone curves would be all empty, but you can clearly see here that actually the values are now in and they are coming straight from the phone. I also have in here the gradient filter, so I can see what the gradient is and I can see the values that are applied to the gradient as well. So everything's coming through non-destructively, which means that once I get it back to my desktop, if I need to carry on tweaking this by adjusting the exposure, I can. I may want to change the white point, I may want to open the shadows up to give me some more visibility of what's going on. I may want to carry on and do a crop, for example. So cropping, as we know, is relatively easy. We can just pull the crop in and really tighten that up to give me the most impact of that picture. Once I've finished, I can press done. Now, you'll see at the top left-hand corner, Lightroom synchronizing content back into Lightroom on the mobile device. And that's how you can synchronize content from the Canon camera directly to the phone and then import them from the phone to the desktop. And that is your mobile workflow. Okay, so thanks very much. I hope that was useful, and we'll see you very soon. Goodbye now.